I'll disappear. morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Clap your hands, clap, clap, clap. Stomp your feet, stomp, stomp, stomp. Spin around, spin, spin, spin. Alright. Good morning, good morning, good morning. 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 Wash your hands, wash, wash, wash. Shake your hands, shake, shake, shake. Brush your teeth, brush, brush, brush. Alright. Good morning.
What a great day. This is going to be great. What? A great day, a great weekend. It's going to be a great week. I tell you. It's not always easy being Lou. But today, it's pretty damn easy. What's up, Voltard?
Good morning.
The king of the Voltards. Look at this.
That's right.
King of the Voltards. This guy's been on YouTube catching L's for how many years? 12?
11.
11 years this guy's been on YouTube getting humiliated every Saturday in the fall, and you're still here.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of me.
I know, yeah. That's good, yeah.
That's why this coming Saturday is going to be that much more enjoyable when we come down there and just shock the world.
I couldn't agree more with the first half of your statement. This is the first year in a long time that Tennessee fans actually think they're going to win. So it's no holds barred this week.
That's not really true.
Oh, it is true.
We had some people last year and the year before that actually thought we were going to win. Well, or thought that they thought we were.
Well, you always have those one or two, but I mean, generally speaking, Tennessee fans have known they were doo-doo the last 2 years. By the time they played, I mean, last year you lost to Georgia State, and it was over before the Georgia game ever came around.
Last year we weren't winning any games.
So this will make it especially good for me and Georgia fans because you people have completely lost your mind in the last 2 weeks. So this is going to be great.
So this has some meaning then. This week, this game.
It doesn't have any meaning for Georgia's football team. It has meaning for me and Georgia fans on the internet, though.
So if I'm trying to think of something you and I can bet on this game.
Well, what can you afford to lose?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. That's actually what I'm trying to come up with. What am I not willing to do? So I'm sure I'll come up with something.
Yeah. I just
I'm
soon
sure
bet. I
you'll
just
agree with it.
soon. All I want is a mini helmet when we win. So
Well, that's easy enough. I mean,
yeah.
you have
And now I have a Tennessee one, so but you know they're all basically the same price, about $25. So if Georgia wins, I'll find one on Amazon or something that I don't have, and I'll just send you the link.
that'll work.
Is that fair?
That'll work.
All right, but you got to let me know what you want me to do.
Well, actually, maybe I don't know.
What now? What'd you say?
I might do the same thing. I might just want a mini helmet.
It doesn't
I
matter.
Might want you to humiliate yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you want me to do, does it?
It does.
No, it doesn't matter.
See, I know this is going to be a hard week for me. I understand.
Not as hard as next week. Next week will be harder.
Next week
for
I
you.
might be sick. I might like have a hole in my balls or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and say this off the top for those of you degenerate gamblers out there. If you have not bet Florida yet, what are you waiting on? Stop waiting. Stop watching this show. Go to bet now, immediately. I wonder what the line's up to today. I couldn't believe that yesterday. That's got to be the weirdest line I've seen all year. Line came out yesterday. Florida's only favored by 6 over Texas A&M. Now, I know they got to play them there. But, man, when was the last time Texas A&M beat a ranked team, much less a top 10 team? And you're telling me that 6 points? Shit.
Maybe they're counting on the fact that Florida appears to not have such a great defense, and maybe, I don't know what they're counting on.
I don't know what they're counting on either, unless this is going to be the one game a year where Kellen Mond plays really great. He has that about once a year, you know.
Oh, so he's got Jarrett Garantano disease.
Yes.
Maybe this will be the weekend they both have great games.
The best you can hope for Garandudu is what he gave you the first 2 weeks, which is no turnovers, 60% completion, and
I would take that.
Somewhere between, my guess would be somewhere between 150 and 175 yards is about the best you can hope for this week.
Given the way your defense has been playing, I'll take that.
Besides, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You ready?
Okay.
It's going to be pouring down rain all day Saturday.
Is that the forecast?
Yeah. So you better get Tyson Chandler and Eric Gray ready to roll.
Well, they'll be ready. You know who's really going to be ready.
I'm telling you right now, if this game starts and it looks like Auburn running the ball, it's over. You better be able to You better be able to run the ball better than that. You appear that you can. Auburn's run game is, we knew it was going to be terrible. They've got a bad offensive line. Y'all have a great offensive line.
You know who's going to be especially excited to return to Athens?
Who, Cade Mays?
No.
Is his dad coming, or is he afraid?
His dad.
Finger situation. Yeah.
His dad's hoping he'll find his.
No tickets available for Cade's dad. We can't afford the liability. What a Karen this guy is, Cade Mays' dad. He's no different than the person that sued McDonald's for spilling hot coffee on themselves, is he? Guy doesn't know how to operate a folding chair and then sues the university. What a joke this guy is, this Cade Mays' dad.
This happened to Stegman, right?
Yeah.
Supposedly?
Yeah. What a joke this guy is.
Well, you know those folding chairs can be really tricky.
No, they can't. And they're not.
Think that might have been a setup?
No, I just think he's an idiot.
Well, that's not very nice.
Well, I'm not here to be nice.
Gonna call a man that dang near lost his life over a folding chair? Gonna be like that?
Yes.
Not nice.
No.
I mean, we know you're not nice, but
right.
That's especially not nice.
Right.
Hmm.
I don't have any use for him. I had some use for Cade Mays, not his dad.
What use do you have for Cade?
Hey, you watched all of the Tennessee game on Saturday. I didn't. I mean, I had it on, but,
Right.
it's hard for me to just watch one game and pay attention to a specific thing. What'd you think about Cade Mays? Now, I heard something afterwards that he played well. Did he?
I mean, I thought so. I didn't keep an eye on him the whole day. I was mainly watching to see how his pass blocking was doing.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering in particular. Yeah.
Yeah, he did pretty good. He looked different actually when
Yeah.
it came to the pass blocking.
As a whole, y'all protected JG pretty well in that game, pass blocking wise.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've done a pretty good job of that so far.
Yeah,
It's going to be a little different story this weekend, I would imagine.
Yeah, he's going to be under some pressure this week, and I mean, even if your offensive line is great, you got to figure. Let's assume Tennessee is the best offensive line in the SEC. Georgia probably has the best front seven. So
Yeah,
Tennessee's going to win some of those matchups, and Georgia's going to win some. So JG is going to be under pressure some amount of time, I think.
Mhm.
Now, Georgia hasn't been great at actually sacking the QB this year, but we've played two QBs that are both, I think, a little bit more mobile than JG. I know Bo Nix is more mobile and athletic than JG. Felipe Franks, it might be a toss-up between him and JG in terms of mobility.
Garrett's he's been pretty good these first 2 weeks at moving around. I was pleasantly surprised. He surprised me.
Who's been y'all's best player on defense this year? Is it Toto?
Big Toe, yep.
He's a linebacker or a safety?
Mm-hmm.
Linebacker. He plays on the inside?
Fuck, I don't know.
Oh.
Plays all over the place.
If there's any Tennessee fans in comment section, does Toto play on the inside or the outside?
Toto. I wonder what name you would have.
I think he plays on the inside. Pretty sure he's an inside linebacker.
He's an all over the place linebacker. Ooh.
Well,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, inside linebacker, yeah. Okay. Well, he'll have plenty of opportunities for tackles then, because I expect Georgia to run the ball up the middle about 25 times in this game.
At least.
And if you can't stop it, that number is going to balloon to about 45. Did you watch any of the Georgia? Let's see. Yeah,
I tried.
The game was on at night, so you could have watched it.
Yeah, I tried. I was over at. We were over at Billy's house, and we were having some troubles getting the TV working over there. But when we finally got it going, tried to watch some of it. I said this last night, and I forget what your comment was, or maybe it wasn't you. Auburn looked like straight shit. And yes,
no,
Georgia had a lot to do with that. Yeah, it was you then, wasn't it?
Here's what I want to know. We beat Auburn by 21.
Mm-hmm.
We beat you by 21. You going to come on here next week and say Tennessee is shit?
I'll probably say they look like shit.
Okay, well.
Because they will.
Okay.
I mean, a team can look like shit, can't they, Lou?
Who have they played?
And it be the other person's fault.
Georgia ain't played nobody. You know Georgia ain't played nobody. I wonder if Dan Mullen was watching to see what it looks like for a team to beat a top 10 team. What's Dan Mullen record against top 10 teams now? Something like 3-15? What a joke, this Dan Mullen.
Sure does have a friendly wife, though.
Now, this would be Tennessee's first win over a top 10 team since like 2006.
Damn, we've had one since then?
No, you haven't had one since then. That's why I said it would be the first one.
It would have been a lot longer than that, actually.
No, you're something like 0-35 in your last 35 games against top 10 teams.
This is only the third time since '98 Tennessee started 2-0. That's hard to believe.
Well, that's because you normally lose to Florida week 2.
Even as bad as Tennessee's been these last 15 years or so, that's still kind of hard to believe.
How long has it been since you started 0-2?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say about 12 months.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot you lost to Georgia State and BYU last year. That's right.
We did.
Can't believe I forgot that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I can see this is going to be a long week.
Yeah.
We'll make next week so much better.
Well, the good thing is I get to come on here next week and say Tennessee is shit, and you have to agree with me. Now, Auburn was beating us all last week, so I don't know what happened. But now Auburn's no good, and we ain't played nobody.
I never said that. I actually figured Georgia would win that game.
Let me ask you this. Out of Georgia and Tennessee, who's got a better win?
Well, I mean, I guess Georgia.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I guess so, too.
I guess.
I'm telling you, I know I've been complaining for years about wanting Georgia to have more of a grown-up passing game, and I still do. But it is fun to watch. In the first half of that game, there must have been 5 or 6 first downs in a row where we lined up in the same formation and ran the exact same play and got 7.5 yards every single time. And that will beat the life out of a team.
That had to be frustrating.
And I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. If anybody watched that game, you had to notice it. It was either that it was towards the end of the first quarter, maybe the beginning of a second quarter, but there was a couple of drives in a row where 1st and 10, same formation, everybody knew what was coming, right up the middle, either over the left guard or the right guard, 6, 7, 8 yards every single time. Then it was 2nd and 2 or 2nd and 3. And then first down again. And then on that first down, we would line up and run the exact same play again, and we did it all the way down the field.
Yeah,
that will beat anybody into submission. When it's one thing to get ran, it's one thing to look at the end of the game and say, "Oh wow, we ran for 200 yards." But when you're watching it and they know when they know you're about to do nothing but hand it off up the middle, and they can't do anything to stop it. I mean, nothing. That will suck the life out of a team, and I said it over and over again while that was happening in the first and second quarter. I said this game is over. There's not anybody in America that can beat Georgia if they're running the ball for 8 yards on first down, and that's just reality.
Well, there's not anybody in America that can beat anybody doing that.
Right.
I mean,
well, maybe a team with a terrible defense. Maybe a team with a terrible defense, but and we're not going to do that against everybody. I don't think we'll do that against. I would be surprised if we did anything like that against Tennessee. I think Tennessee might be better than Auburn, but this whole thing that Auburn sucks is ridiculous. Are they or are they not currently ranked ahead of Tennessee still?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the polls yet. I don't know. I'm just wondering how far they fell and how much Tennessee – what is Tennessee? Probably around 14 or 15?
Yeah, 14th, I guess.
What
were you expecting?
What was Auburn? 7? So I could see Auburn a spot ahead of Tennessee or a spot behind them. I don't know. I don't know where they're at.
Somebody in the comments tell us where Auburn is.
Somebody says they are 13, and then someone else says we are 14. But I don't know. I don't know if they is Auburn or Tennessee, and I don't know if we is Auburn or Tennessee.
Auburn is 13.
Auburn is 13. Tennessee is 14. Yeah. See, I don't have a problem with that. I also wouldn't have a problem if it was the other way around. I wouldn't have a problem either if it was Tennessee 13, Auburn 14. I think the
only thing I would have a problem
Saturday
with in the polls would be if Oklahoma was still in it, which they are not.
Yeah. They don't deserve to be in it. They don't have a power. Really, they don't have an FBS win.
I don't think Texas A&M should be in it either. But of course, I thought they were a little too highly ranked to start.
But they're the best 5-loss team every year, though. Haven't you heard?
That's good for them.
I don't know if you haven't heard. Every year they lose to every ranked team they play, and then they try to convince people that the only reason they have 5 losses is because they lost to 5 good teams. But I don't know if this is breaking news or not, but when you're in the SEC, you're probably going to play a lot of ranked teams. you need to beat some of them.
Chances are pretty good that you're going to play some ranked teams.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Texas A&M, you don't have to run the table between Bama, Auburn, and LSU every year, but could you beat one of them every other year or so?
What
You
was
know?
that stat you said a minute ago? Tennessee hasn't beaten a top 10 team since '06.
Yeah,
And what do you know who it was?
I don't. My
Not
guess
that
would
it
be
matters.
Georgia, Florida, or Tennessee, but I
06.
would just be. I mean, Georgia, Florida, or Alabama, but that would
Oh,
just be a
hell no.
guess.
We know it wouldn't be Bama. I don't think.
Well, they were a 10-win team right before Saban got there, contrary to what the Gump will try to tell you now.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't realize that.
I mean, I think they had to forfeit those for one particular reason or another, but that doesn't change the fact that they were good. You know, they might have cheated to be good, but they were good.
Nah, they don't cheat in Tuscaloosa.
But that's not what Phil Fulmer said when he called the SEC office to tell on them.
Yeah, well, man's got to do what a man's got to do.
That was kind of a Karen move, wasn't it, or no?
That shouldn't surprise anybody anyway. Philip Fulmer got the damn job at Tennessee by being a dickhead.
Yeah. What a shame. Creeping Death, thank you for hitting the super chat this morning. He says it's Lou versus BVD hate week. Go Dogs. Now, Georgia's a 14-point favorite over Tennessee.
I get 14 points?
What's the spread between me and you?
That's what I was going to say.
On this hate week.
14 points in the hate week.
Against me?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll let the comment section decide. Gator Zone, thank you for the super chat. He says Kyle to Kyle at Kyle Field. Yeah. Kyle Pitts is insane. Tiny Tonto.
Pretty fast, too, isn't he?
For a guy that size, he is. Good win for your Dogs, Lou. I'm still not completely sold on y'all's offense, but you looked way better than week 1.
Well, when you got a defense like that, your offense don't have to do a whole lot.
I'm not sold on Georgia's offense either in terms of winning a national title, but this is a better offense than we had last year when we went 11-1 in the SEC. I mean, in regular season. So
I'm kind of in agreement with Celine Driver. You're so confident about them Dogs, Lou. I think you ought to give me 14 points.
If I want to bet with the spread, I'll do it on Bet Now.
Yeah, I know.
That's not how these hate weeks work.
I took a chance.
Tennessee took a chance, too. Hired Derek Dooley and Lyle.
Which was taking a bigger chance?
Derek Dooley.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Lyle, at least you saw him head coach somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere not named Louisiana Tech.
Right. Named Cincinnati, I believe. Wasn't it?
Well,
I think it was. It was Cincinnati.
Derek had a better pedigree.
That's true.
See how much that counted for.
Yeah. That's true. Judge Juno, thank you for hitting the super chat. South Carolina couldn't catch COVID-19 if they had Trump boxers on.
This is why games like this one are why I'm not have never been really and I'm still not a very good trash talker, because I subscribe to the theory that how you going to trash talk when, like, how's a Tennessee fan really going to trash talk against Alabama?
Well, yeah, I agree with you. Anybody that has to ask that question is not a good trash talker. I agree with you.
So,
I've been trash talking Alabama fans since I started this channel, and we haven't beat them in 13 years.
How's that worked out for you?
Worked out great for me.
Okay.
I mean, if you're only willing to trash talk teams that you know you're going to beat, I mean, literally any idiot on the street can do that.
That's not true.
Of course it is.
Some people out there can't trash talk their way out of a paper bag.
An Alabama fan can. I mean, it's easy. I mean, there's no point in even having trash talk if you believe in the philosophy that only the fan of the better team can trash talk. Then there's no point. What's the point? There is no point.
Tell me. Let's pretend for just a couple of minutes that you're a Tennessee fan, and it's we'll say Florida week. What's your ammo going in?
The same thing. The same things I say now, except for anything related to Georgia. Dan Mullen's been around for 12 years. Can't win a division. Can't win a conference. Tries to take credit for Tim Tebow because he was the offensive coordinator under one of the best offensive minds in history, Urban Meyer. We all know Urban Meyer was the reason Florida's offense was what it was when he was there. How do we know that? Urban Meyer has won everywhere he's went as a head coach. Dan Mullen has lost everywhere he's went as a head coach. So it's pitiful to try to take credit for Tim Tebow. That's insane. Your record against top 10 team. I mean, I could go on and on, but I'm not in the business of teaching people how to trash talk, though. What is this here?
You need to be.
No, I don't. Mike Bridges, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, all I know is McIntosh and Milton are better than Cook. My house is divided this week because wife and son are Vols. Let me know if you need the name of a good divorce attorney. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Bridges. Definition 409, thank you for the super chat. He says, your high, Lou, Oklahoma is a top 25 team. They may be one of the best 25 teams in America, but in no way do they deserve to be ranked in the top 25 right now.
No.
If Oklahoma is a top 25, then LSU is back, says Jay Drizzle. Yeah. I mean, polls, there's always a debate between where a team deserves to be ranked versus how good or bad you really think they are. There aren't 25 teams that would beat Oklahoma. There's not. And Oklahoma will be a top 25 team when the season ends. Hell, they might be one next week. They'll finish as a top 25 team. They don't deserve to be ranked in the top 25 right now, though.
Who you got this week, Oklahoma, Texas?
I haven't decided. I really haven't. I'm probably gonna. I do think I trust Oklahoma more than I trust Texas. Texas has looked bad 2 weeks in a row. So is Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. But at least, I mean, I've seen Oklahoma play at a high level. Ellinger looks lost. I mean, the guy can't even complete 50% of his passes anymore. I don't know. So I'm leaning Oklahoma right now, but I really don't know. I don't know. I have to make up my mind the next couple of days, but right now I really have no idea which way I would go there. Brian B., thank you for hitting the PayPal link this morning, sir, and I'll post PayPal in the chat section for anybody else that doesn't mind doing it that way. Where'd you go? Here you are. This is how awesome Mike Leach is. He ended the longest SEC winning streak and the longest SEC losing streak in back-to-back weeks too.
Boy, how disappointing was that?
Very disappointing.
Talk about coming out. I don't even know how to describe it.
Well, here's what's even weirder to me. Against LSU, KJ Costello had 60 pass attempts, 600 and something yards. Everybody was, oh my God. Well, this week he had 59, so almost exactly the same, but he only threw for 300. So who is DBU, LSU or Arkansas? Arkansas held him to half the number of yards LSU did. Same number of attempts. Not having Kylan Hill really hurt Mississippi State because as good as Mike Leach's schemes are, there's not a lot of playmaking talent on Mississippi State's team outside of the quarterback position, but Kylan Hill is. That dude would play anywhere. He would play for Alabama. Not every down, but nobody plays every down. But he would get on the field even at Alabama, at Georgia, at Florida. That dude is unbelievable at Kylan Hill. He had 190 yards total 190 total yards the week before at LSU, and he got hurt basically on the first play of the game or something. He had one carry or something in that game. That really hurt Mississippi State.
I kind of figured, that what I thought was Mississippi State would do what they did to LSU quite a few times to start the season. Rack up a bunch of yards, rack up a bunch of points. And then these SEC defensive coordinators would, they're gonna figure him out.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting it to be freaking Arkansas.
Right.
I mean,
I was happy for Arkansas fans and Sam Pittman.
Yeah, you got to be. I like Sam Pittman.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he was at Georgia last, but he coached Tennessee for a couple of years too, and I always liked that dude.
Yeah.
He deserves to have a head coaching job, and he deserves to catch some good wins this year. He they might get a few more good ones.
Yeah,
I don't know, though. Is that a good win for them? I mean, any win's good, but I guess.
Yeah, when you're Arkansas and you're staring down the barrel of a 10-game SEC schedule, anything you can get is.
And 20 consecutive SEC losses they had?
Yeah, 8 and they lost all 8 last year, all 8 in 18, and I think the last 4 in 17. And they're 1 in 23. They were 1 in 23 in their last 24 SEC games. Now they're 2. Now they're 2 and 24. 2 and 23.
Where is Chad Morris now?
Where?
Yeah.
He's the OC there.
Really?
At Auburn.
Oh, at Auburn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't appear to be having much success.
Yeah. Looks like
he'll be gone after this year. This is what Auburn does. Gus Malzahn calls the plays. Auburn looks like crap. So at the end of the season, they make Gus go out and hire an OC. The OC comes in. Auburn still looks like crap. Gus fires the OC, goes back to calling plays, looks like crap, hires another OC. This is just a rinse and repeat routine for the Barner.
How much longer do they put up with that shit? The only thing saving Malzahn is the fact that he beats Alabama.
And that contract.
Yeah, that probably helps.
Let me see if I can find this thing. I've got some stats here on Auburn, if I can find it. I hope I saved this thing.
No, Celine.
Of course I didn't.
No.
Well, I wish I could find this.
I think it's just nobody wants to talk about Florida, period. Oh, you realize we got Mike Vick today, right?
I had no idea.
Yeah. Yep. We got the Vickster today.
All right. Well, hold tight, Mike Vick. Man, please let me find this thing. It was unbelievable. I'm just gonna. If I can't find it in the next minute or so, I just forget it.
Yeah, ACP Carter wants to come on this week too, but he wants to know if we can have 8 or 9 people in here on a StreamYard.
No. Well, I wish I could
Good
find
point
this
too,
thing.
Jay Riz. When does
Gus Malzahn is a combined 7-16 against Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. He's 0-11 in Baton Rouge, Athens, and Tuscaloosa.
Okay.
Never beat any of them on the road.
Say that record again.
7-16 against Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. I think 3 of those wins are against Bama, and then 2 against LSU and 2 against Georgia. He beat Georgia in 13 and 17.
Damn, it's hard to believe he's been there that long.
Auburn hasn't scored more than 10 points against Georgia in the state of Georgia since like 2005 or something.
Damn.
10 points has been the most they've scored. They haven't scored a second half touchdown against Kirby Smart, I think, ever.
Now, I did actually totally miss the entire second half because I think we flipped it over.
You didn't miss anything. There was nothing to see in the second half.
Yeah, what the hell happened there? I mean, was this did Georgia
Auburn, actually what happened,
or?
well, Georgia went into turtle mode.
Okay.
With the whole kill the clock. Georgia only had the ball 3 times in the second half.
Damn.
We were playing a little bit, not a prevent defense, but we backed off a little bit in the second half defensively, and we're giving up some stuff underneath. And Auburn's possessions were long. It almost looked like Auburn was trying to drown out the clock just to get out of there.
Yeah, hell, they might have been.
But I mean, I'm not happy about. We scored 3 points offensively against Arkansas in the first half. We scored 3 points offensively against Auburn in the second half. We've yet to play a complete game, and this was a pattern from last year. Really, it's a pattern. This is a pattern going back several years, really. And of course, the most famous examples of this are 17 and 18 versus Bama, the Natty game and the SEC title game. And it is frustrating to see. I mean, you want to put teams away. And then the worst thing, and this is just, I can't think of a logical explanation for this. We have no experience at the quarterback position on our team. None. I mean, JT Daniels played a year, but not at Georgia. Right. Stetson Bennett played a year, but not at Georgia. And then you got Carson Beck and DeJuan Mathis, who have never taken a snap in college coming into this season. And you got COVID-19 going around, so anything could happen. Well, this game was over in the fourth quarter. We tried DeJuan Mathis out there in the fourth quarter, and guess what we had him do? Guess how many pass attempts DeJuan Mathis had in the fourth quarter?
Probably 0.
0.
Or maybe 1.
None.
0.
0. Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense. You're not doing anything. Sending a quarterback out the second half of the fourth quarter to hand off every single time is not doing anything to prepare that quarterback for eventually having to play if that were to ever happen. And let's be real, Stetson Bennett is 5'9", 175 pounds, and he likes to run. And there's corona going around.
There's no way.
Football's a dangerous game. Anybody could get hurt at any time.
Yeah,
you never want
Stetson
that.
Bennett stays your starter all year, is there? No way.
Kirby says he's all in, but it's.
I mean, I think
he's an improvement over Fromm. He's an improvement over Fromm. I mean, the numbers bear that out. And he can move. I mean, he's no Kyler Murray, but I've said a million times, you don't need that. You just need a guy who can escape pressure every once in a while, pick up a first down with his legs every once in a while. I mean, Jake Fromm did it never, ever, ever in 3 years. Now, Stetson appeared to be under strict orders not to run on Saturday. Stetson never crossed the line of scrimmage on Saturday. Now he escaped some pressure a couple of times and rolled around rolled out of the pocket or whatever, but he never once crossed the line of scrimmage with the ball in his hand.
That's what scares me about JG this year. He seems to be, when he runs the ball, he seems to be more fearless than usual. I don't know if that's because it's his last year or I don't know. I mean, he made some pretty good moves to pick up some first downs this weekend where most quarterbacks would have probably slid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know there's a lot of Tennessee fans that would love, maybe not to see him get hurt. I don't want to say there's fans that would like to see him get hurt. But I know there's a shit ton of Tennessee fans that would give anything to see him on the bench. And I don't get that.
Has No, the Carolina game came down to the end. Did anybody else get in the game for Tennessee? No,
No.
not even late in the game.
No, and I was kind of pissed off about that too.
Yeah.
I mean that just makes no sense to me. But I mean they're not the only team that does that. A lot of teams will do that, and I don't get it. I mean, I'm with you that when you put a quarterback in late in the game, I don't give a shit if you're at 40. Put him in there and let him run the offense. Like Spurrier used to say, it's the other team's job to stop the offensive.
Yeah.
Teams want to whine because you
I
put your quarterback in there up 40 and let him throw the ball around. Tough shit.
Listen,
Stop it.
when you're up big and you put your third string defense in the game in the fourth quarter, do you tell them not to tackle?
Exactly.
I mean, the whole idea. Last year, Stetson Bennett came in the game in the fourth quarter, I don't know, 7 or 8 times last year when we were blowing teams out. I bet Kirby wishes he had but he gained nothing from it, because all he did was hand the ball off. Knowing what Kirby knows now, sure would have probably made sense to let Stetson go out there and run the actual offense, He'd be that much further along now, in theory, because Kirby Smart has even said, in all his press conferences, including the post-game press conference from this Auburn game, Stetson Bennett was working with the third-team offense all offseason. All offseason. He was 5th on the depth chart. He wasn't getting any reps at all with the ones or the twos.
When did he all of a sudden become the man? I mean,
when we were losing to Arkansas and Kirby got nervous and went into conservative mode, and he had a choice to make. Do I put Carson Beck in and see what he can do, true freshman, or do I go with Stetson Bennett? And he went with Stetson Bennett, and it worked out. But it could just have easily have gone the other way.
Oh, sure.
He could have went in there and been completely lost and overwhelmed, and he hasn't looked that way. I mean, he's played great in both. He played great when he came in against Arkansas, and he played great this past Saturday. No doubt about it.
He at least knew that he wasn't going to be lost and overwhelmed. But there's no way he could have known that he was going to come in and play as good as he has.
Yeah. Hell, I was surprised too. And again, he's not gonna, he ain't gonna put up Heisman numbers. He's not gonna throw for 300 yards a game. We
don't have to.
Yeah, but so far he hasn't made any huge mistakes. He hasn't made any turnovers. He's missed some throws. We had a guy wide open streaking down the middle of the field, tight end Fitzpatrick. The guy wide open. He'd still be running if he'd have caught the ball.
First half.
Very first drive, I think, Stetson sailed it 5 or 6 yards over his head, and you could, just adrenaline.
I saw that,
yeah, and I said, well, that's adrenaline, that's nerves. His first ever start. Kid grew up a huge Georgia fan. It's a dream come true for this guy after, thinking he would never even play. Here he is getting to start against a top 10 Auburn team at home, prime time at night. That's adrenaline there. Sailed it right over his head, but. So, he's missed some throws, but he's played well. I mean, you can't knock how Stetson Bennett has played. You can't. I mean, the guy was the 4,000th rated recruit coming out of high school, a walk-on. I'm not going to jump on Stetson Bennett like I do some of these other ones. I mean, I still have a hard time understanding how the least talented quarterback on our roster continues year after year to look to win the job and look like the better QB. We all know Justin Fields is better than Fromm. We also know he did not look good when they sent him in the game at Georgia. So what is going on there? DeJuan Mathis did not look good. We haven't seen JT Daniels yet, and I don't know if we will.
I vaguely remember Fields when he was at Georgia. And seems like what I remember was you bitching because he wasn't getting enough time. Was that because he was playing terrible?
Well, what would happen? There was a few different things going on. They didn't always wait until the fourth quarter of a blowout to send Justin Fields in to Kirby's credit. He did put Justin Fields in sometimes in the first half of games or whatever. But never for an entire drive, and most times not even for an entire series. In other words, he would send Justin Fields in on first down, and then Fromm would come in on second and play second and third down.
Yeah, that aggravates the shit out of me. That had to be frustrating as hell.
Yeah, and we never. I mean, I get that, you know, Georgia's offense is what it is, and this is our offense. But if you make the decision to recruit Justin Fields, and you get him, you have to adapt your offense to that. Why did you recruit? So in other words, we sent Justin Fields in, but we were running the same things Fromm was running. Like it was square peg round hole thing.
Wouldn't the objective to recruiting and signing Justin Fields be to make him your quarterback as quick as possible?
You would assume. I mean, you're talking about the number 1 or number 2 rated prospect in America that year behind Trevor Lawrence, and the highest rated recruit the University of Georgia had ever signed. The hell's calling me?
The whole thing's a head scratcher.
Quit calling me. But I mean, that's over and done with now. But and I'm not complaining about Stetson Bennett. He's exceeded my expectations, and he's better than Fromm. So it is an improvement there. But it's hard to understand. It's hard to understand why Fromm had a high floor and a low ceiling. So that he was the conservative choice. Other than that South Carolina game and a handful of other games where he played bad, you could count on Fromm, not for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns and running for 50 yards, not that, but you could count on the fact that you knew what you were going to get with him. You knew you were going to get 60 to 65%, 150, 160, 170 yards. He was going to get you out of the bad plays. He wasn't going to bring you back from 2 touchdowns down, though. He wasn't going to win a game for you if you needed it. He had a high floor and a low ceiling. That's Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett has been at UGA. This is his 3rd year at UGA. Plus, he had 1 year at a JUCO where he played 10 or 12 games, whatever it was. He knows what Kirby wants him to do, and he does it. And so far, he hasn't made any mistakes. And so, again, a low floor. It doesn't appear that you have to worry about him going out there and throwing 3 interceptions or fumbling the ball or making the wrong reads. But he's got a low ceiling. And it's just hard to understand why those are the QBs that keep getting the nod at UGA. And the 5 stars, JT Daniels, Jacob Eason, Justin Fields, can't get on the field. It's hard to figure that out. All 3 of those QBs, like I've said before, I don't think all 3 of those QBs can be busts. We know Fields isn't a bust. Eason was drafted ahead of Fromm. I don't know what JT Daniels would do or look like. We've yet to see it, but it's just hard to figure out how these are the ones that keep rising to the top. And how much longer do 4- and 5-star recruits keep signing with Kirby Smart just to never play?
Yeah, that's got to be pretty concerning for the fans. And apparently it's not very concerning to Kirby, but
I mean, we're going to lose. And Dwan Mathis did not appear happy in the 4th quarter of that game by his facial expressions and body language. He did not appear happy to be put into the game to hand the ball off a bunch of times.
He's probably not happy that he's not starting.
Well, I'm sure he is, but he had his, to be fair, he had his chance and he didn't look good. And I know we had penalties and there were some other things you can blame.
How many series did he get in that?
I think he got 4.
He got yanked.
I think 4.
So it wasn't one of them deals where Kirby said, all right, I'm going to give him the first half. He looked bad. He really did. The offense wasn't in any type of rhythm. It didn't look good at all. Over?
Yeah, he threw an interception. Now, that was the receiver's fault, not his, but It was one of those deals where the receiver is going to run either an in route or an out route, depending on the type of coverage that the DB is playing. And DeJuan saw one thing and the receiver saw another. So the receiver broke in, DeJuan threw it out, right to a DB. It looked really bad. It looked really bad when it happened. I even said, that's the worst interception I've ever seen. But then hearing everybody talk about it and even hearing Kirby after the game, he said that was on the receiver. The receiver broke the wrong way. Hard to figure out.
I like when you're watching games like this, and some of these guys, they know whose fault it is. Like they can tell you if it was the receiver's fault or the quarterback's fault. And I get that for the most part. But like there was a couple of plays. I think it was our first game where it was one of them deals like you're talking about. The receiver went one way and the quarterback went the other. How do they know right there in that instant that, how do they know the receiver ran the wrong route? I get it. They're analysts and maybe that's their job to know that.
Well, you know this because you've been to a bunch of games. You can see things at a stadium that you don't see on TV.
Right.
How many times have you been in a Tennessee game and gone, how did he not see that wide receiver running down the field? We don't have 280-pound defensive ends chasing us and all that kind of, and I'm guilty. I do the same thing. I do the same thing too. It is easier to see. There's a reason teams have these offensive coaches sitting up in press boxes. You do see things. So maybe the announcers see that from time to time. I don't know, but
that's got to be it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many people don't realize this, but there's a huge difference between, like you said, being down on the field, standing behind 300-pound linemen, and being able, you can't see everything.
Right. Especially if you're Stetson Bennett, you're 5'9".
Yeah.
So.
Crazy. So, we bitch about the referees a lot, too, how they missed that. It's actually kind of, if you think about it, kind of amazing that they do pick up the shit they pick up sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, how did they see that?
And honestly, you didn't have to be in the stadium on that DeJuan Mathis interception to know something went wrong, because you could clearly see the receiver break inside, and DeJuan threw it 7 yards the other way. Like, it was obvious that either DeJuan thought he was running a different route, or the receiver just ran the wrong. Like, it was clear. It wasn't just a bad throw, where a defender made a good play and jumped in front of the ball. It was obvious that somebody did something wrong. Jay Rizzle. BVD, tell Jay Rizzle thank you.
Thank you, Jay Rizzle.
He says, hey, bud, here's a little tip for you. Thanks for keeping me caught up on college football. As always, go Tigers. And Jay Rizzle, that is not a little tip, sir. Thank you.
Is that the PayPal?
Yeah.
I'm assuming?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Jay Rizzle.
Jay Rizzle is the king of drizzle.
Yeah. No doubt. A couple others on here, too. Slim Shady Canes, boy. He's going to have a big week, isn't he? With his trash talking.
Slim's jacked up this week.
He says, regardless.
The Canes are back,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Thank you for hitting the PayPal, Slim. He says, regardless, this is Slim Shady Canes, Miami fan, by the way, everybody. But he says, regardless of the rankings, which would be the bigger upset? UT over UGA or Miami over Clemson? I think it would be Miami over Clemson would be a bigger upset.
Too. Yeah.
Most everyone thinks Clemson is the best or at worst second best team. Now, I know Georgia is ranked third, and some people think they shouldn't be there. Maybe they should be lower. There's more disagreement about where Georgia should be ranked than there is Clemson. I don't know of anybody that thinks Clemson shouldn't be either first or second. And Miami is good. And here's the thing about Clemson. Yes, we see them slip up sometimes in the regular season and lose, or a close win like North Carolina, but it's not usually in a big game. Like, it's not like you're going to catch Clemson sleeping in this game.
This is in Death Valley too, right?
It's in Death Valley. Yeah, I expect Clemson to win. Now, they're about a 2-touchdown favorite.
And that's fair, I think.
I do too. And if I had to play that game right now, I would take Miami at anything over 14. But I haven't bet it yet. But I'll wait till the end of the week maybe on that. But I think Miami can keep it close, or closer than that maybe. I do think Clemson will win, but I think it could be closer than 2 touchdowns maybe.
How good is Miami's defense?
I think it's pretty. I think it's okay.
Are they capable of holding Clemson under 30?
I don't know that anyone is capable of holding Clemson under 30.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, if Clemson scores 35, to me that doesn't. I'm not going to say, oh, Miami has got a bad defense. Clemson scored 35.
Yeah.
See, here's some other. I don't know. This is not a case of me accusing somebody of hiding their offense. That's not what I'm doing here. But Travis Etienne is getting like 7 and 8 touches a game. They could unleash him Saturday. Now, they're not high. Everyone knows what Travis Etienne is, so wouldn't be hiding anything. Maybe they're limiting his carries. They don't want him to get hurt. He chose to come back for his senior year when he didn't have to. You didn't need him to do a whole lot the first few games. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It's hurt his Heisman chances, but I don't think he's that interested in the Heisman. I think he wants another national title. But that could be. If I look down if at the end of this game somebody tells me Travis Etienne had 140 yards, I'll say, well, Clemson won. Like, I know he hasn't been the go-to. I mean, Trevor Lawrence has been lighting it up through the air. So we're stating the obvious if we say, well, Miami's got to slow Trevor Lawrence down. You got to stop Travis Etienne first, then play the pass. We'll see if they can do it. Thank you for the super chat. I mean the PayPal. Slim. I think our buddy Chess Hall done showed up here. Yeah, Chess Hall done dug up a bone and delivered it to the PayPal. He says, they were wrong. I hit 500 subs. Good job, buddy. I'm proud of you, Chess.
Congrats, Chess.
Congratulations. Now let's get going on that 23-hour and 59-minute stream that you got planned.
Yeah.
Did you hear about his 11-hour and 59-minute stream he did last week?
Yeah, I've heard. I was there for some of it.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for the good stuff.
Not easy to do an 11-hour and 59-minute stream.
Not even for Chess.
Yeah, so you got to give a guy credit. 11 hours, 59 minutes. Nothing to sneeze at. Thank you for hitting the PayPal, Chess, and congratulations again, sir. All right. Yep, that gets us caught up over there. Back to the super chats here. We're way behind here.
Yeah, super chat's been coming in fast and heavy this morning.
Definition 409. Thank you for hitting the. That's Pigskin Pete's biggest fan. Did you know that?
Yes.
Definition 409. Yeah. He says you're high, Lou. Oklahoma's a top 25 team. Yeah, right. Jay Rizzle, thank you for hitting the super chat. He says if Oklahoma's a top 25 team, I think I read those two. Then LSU is back. Yeah. Well, LSU destroyed something called, what was it, Vandy? Who'd they play this week? Vandy? Yeah.
That was kind of surprising.
She was back.
Not that they won. But...
Mike Bridges says, I'm good on the attorney. My first divorce cost me enough.
Have you heard from Mike Reiser lately?
I think I did last week. Yeah, with the joke of the day in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just curious because I haven't heard from him in the last few days on my streams.
He's been around. He's been around.
Maybe he just ran out of.
I don't know if this person is listening. I don't know if this person is listening or not. But shout out to, and I hope I remember this right, Sean Stapleton, Oklahoma fan, who happens to live in Uncle Lou's neck of the woods, and ran into me at Lowe's yesterday. Shout out to you, sir. You picked a great day to run into Uncle Lou, and I was able to go ahead and laugh at you about your Sooners, which was great. But no, we talked for probably 5 or 10 minutes about college football and that. So shout out to you, sir. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Were you kind to him, or did you give him shit?
Well, it was one of those things where he said, "Hey, are you Uncle Lou?" And I straight up just said, "Well, it depends how mad you are." Straight up told him, Mrs. Lou and my son was standing right there. And he said, "Oh, I'm mad. I'm an Oklahoma fan." Yeah, and I laughed, and so that was and then we talked for a while. He was a good guy though. He was there with I'm assuming that was his wife. He was there with a woman. Seemed like a nice guy. So shout out to you. And again, I hope I got that name right. I'm not very good at remembering names sometimes. I'm pretty sure he said it was Sean Stapleton though. I don't know why I would just make that name up out of the blue. But so I think that's probably right. But shout out to you, sir. It's nice to meet you. Good luck this weekend in the Red River Shootout.
Oh, it's not a rivalry anymore. That's right.
Right. Robert Ryan, thank you for hitting the super chat this morning. He says, I really hope Notre Dame beats the absolute hell out of FSU this weekend. I still think we have no chance against Clemson with Ian Book. I'm hoping for 9-1. If you don't beat the absolute hell out of Florida State, that's not a good sign.
I don't think you got any worries there, sir.
They were losing BVD at halftime. Now, they ended up winning comfortably, something like 45-24 or something, but they were losing to Jacksonville State at halftime. Florida State was.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they and you know what? Let's give them a little bit of credit, Florida State. Not necessarily for beating Jacksonville State, but look at how they've played this year. Look at everybody is just raining hate down on them. They come out against Jacksonville State. They fall behind at halftime. How easy would it have been for that team just to completely give up at that moment? Sitting in that locker room at halftime, you're 0-2. You got beat by your rival 52-10 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? How easy would it have been for that team to just give up?
Jacksonville State, yeah.
And you're sitting in there at halftime, at home, probably getting booed by the 20,000 fans or whatever it is that were there. How easy would it have been for them just to give up?
Raked over the coals by your coaches.
Yeah. So I think you have to give the coaching staff, and I don't know if it's the seniors or whatever on that team, for holding that thing together at halftime and coming out there and putting something together in the second half and getting the win. Not that I think that means Florida State has turned a corner and is now a good team or something, but
that just means they did something they should have done.
Right. It is a positive sign that because that thing easily could have just went completely off the rails at halftime. What was
the score at halftime? Do you remember?
I think it was 21-14 or 21-7, something like that. Yeah. Celine Driver, good to see you in here this morning, sir. He says, so nobody wants to talk about Bowman heading to Florida. Interesting. Pity he can't play defense too. No one wants to talk about a transfer headed to Florida for next year. No. That's the answer to that. No one wants to talk about that. Literally no one. That's off-season talk. No, literally no one cares. We're in the middle of an actual season here. No one is concerned.
Well, no, I was going to say not even Ballard cares.
Clemens' son, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, in his latest video, Carolina Jackpot goes knuckles deep in his nose and eats it. Will you play it for everybody? Fast forward to 34:55.
Can't be worse than Sleeta.
Oh, I'll tell you what I will play. Carolina Jackpot, if he was a Tennessee fan and had a speech impediment.
Saying things, I ain't even taking one drink. A horse walking, you ain't got us on that.
Man, it looks like it's going to rain next Saturday. Going to rain on that Georgia parade down in Athens. Weatherman's calling for about a 90% chance of rain and a 95% chance of ass whipping. Damn right he is. Georgia, Georgia, Georgia. Oh, I don't even know what to really start with other than I need to trim his beard up a little bit. Y'all.
If Carolina Jackpot was a Tennessee fan and had a speech impediment, there you go.
I never thought about it, but he does kind of resemble. They do kind of resemble each other.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat, Clem and Son. Jay Rizzle says those kids at Arkansas looked fired up to play for Pittman. They did not respect Chad Morris one bit. You know who else doesn't appear to respect Chad Morris? Auburn players.
Yeah.
Celine Driver says, and for the record, I apologize for picking Auburn. No, you don't have to apologize. You just have to admit you were wrong. You don't ever apologize for picking a game wrong. Just admit you were wrong. That would be good enough. Q Bearded, thank you for the super chat. He says, imagine as an OU fan seeing the Sooners unranked and then SMU is ranked 23. I can't relate. Sergeant AR10, thank you for hitting the super chat this morning. Good to see you in here. Terrence Huey, thank you for the super chat. He says, Muschamp getting fired unless UGA saves his job.
I like that name, Terrence Huey.
We did our part to save his job last year. Someone else can do it this year. BVD. Nope, you already had your chance. Florida. Nope. Oh. Here you go. South Carolina over LSU to save Will Muschamp's job. There you go. How about that?
Not happening.
Somebody needs to take one for the team here and let South Carolina beat them. We did it last year. Someone else needs to do it this year. We're not doing it this year. I'm just telling you right now, we're not doing it. We're going into Columbia and beating them.
South Carolina plays Vandy this weekend, don't they?
Yeah. So they'll get a win there.
Somebody's getting a win.
Well, it'll be South Carolina. That game won't be close.
Yeah, Vandy's just terrible. How did they play Texas A&M so close?
Texas A&M's not any good.
What's up with that? I actually, I thought Vandy would stay within 21, 22 points of LSU this weekend.
I thought Florida would have a defense this year. What was I wrong?
Maybe they're holding it. For Georgia.
Week 1, they give up 1 million passing yards. Week 2, they can't stop South Carolina from running the ball. Think about how long it's been since somebody said that. Man, did you see South Carolina, how good they ran the ball? How long has it been since someone said that? 8 years? South Carolina's been dead last in the SEC in rushing all but 1 year that Will Muschamp's been there. And that year, I think they were 10th.
Yeah.
And when South Carolina, in that game, when South Carolina made up their mind they were going to run the ball, there was nothing Florida could do. Nothing.
I think we're going to see a lot more of that this year from them.
That's concerning if you're a Florida fan, knowing you got Georgia on the schedule. Can't stop the run against, South Carolina just, it was sad to see. Slim Shady, thank you for the super chat. He says, the football gods hedged my bets when they rescheduled the Clemson game. Falls on the first day of my vacation, so I can cry on St. Augustine Beach all week if Miami loses.
So Slim's not thinking he's got much of a chance.
Where do you stay, Slim, down there when you go? We go to the beach club every year, St. Augustine. Every July we go. Pinecone, thank you for the super chat. He says, Lou, you inspired my last video. What does that say? Simiho. Oh, Simiho made an appearance for the first time. Clemtard coming soon. Clemtard. He's making super fans? What is this?
Surely not.
What is going on here? If I do a search for Pinecone, does his channel come up, or do I have to type in the real? I wish he would change his YouTube name to Pinecone. It would be easier to look it up. Hurricane T2Y. I'd love to know what that means, wouldn't you? T2Y.
Hurricane T2Y.
Miami versus Clemson versus. Is this the one he's talking about? What does that super chat say? Lou, you inspired my last video. Okay. The last video is 2 hours long. That looks like a live show. Tell me the title of the video, Pinecone, so I don't have to search through a 2 hour. Is it the 2 hour video?
Can you drop the link?
Can you tell me about where? If it's the 2 hour video, you're going to have to tell me the timestamp. If it's,
yeah,
you said the latest video. That's your latest video. He said 3 men, 1. What's 3 minutes? 3 minutes into that 2 hour video, or is it a 3 minute video? He said my latest video, which is here. Well, shouldn't be hard to.
The 3 minute long video.
Why is everybody telling us what it is except for Pinecone?
Yeah.
I'm not going to play it now because I'm irritated. It's a simple request here. Tell me the name of the video. It's a simple request. You say my latest video. Your latest video is 2 hours long.
Tiny Tonto.
Is it this one?
How do you cover up cash from communists and...
Shouldn't make Lou have to guess to promote you. Should make it easy for me to promote you if you want to be promoted. Just saying.
What the hell happened to your team? You know y'all almost lost to Jacksonville State, right? You know that, right? Let me hear it. I'm just gonna be quiet. You just let me hear what happened. See, so why you always talking a lot of shit about my nose, man? Hey, man, we got this dub tonight. We celebrating. We beat that Power 5 team. You know what I'm talking about? We beat that Power 5 team tonight. Let us live, man. Dang, let us live. Just because y'all beat us last week, 24-10, don't mean that. 24-10, bro. Really, bro? 24-10. Well, we watching the same game. Don't be trying to do all that, man. You know what the score was, 52-10. So because y'all came down here, pumping your little chest, doing your little hands, and then got whooped. Don't.
Now, for the most part, Simiho is staring Pinecone down here. For the most part. And Pinecone is staring at this Simiho's nuts the entire time, isn't it?
Simiho looks aggravated, don't he?
Yeah. You would think after that big win he would be a little happier.
Who knew Pinecone had editing skills?
Oh, I did. He's done some editing before. Now somebody done taught him a new trick with this here, but good job, Pinecone. Uncle Lou is impressed. Nothing wrong with putting a little bit of effort into your videos, sir. Keep up the good work. Waikiki, thank you for the super chat. He says, Slim stays in his... Oh, here we go. Slim stays in his truck with the family, gets great rates, and you can sleep anywhere. No downside for him. Oh, these two.
Is that your first time seeing Pinecone, Celine Driver? Yeah, he's not a small guy.
Simiho looked bigger than Pinecone to me.
Yeah, I think Simiho's been hitting the juice.
Yeah. Like The mashed potato and Oreos juice.
It's a little concerning.
Guess who showed up for you on the PayPal? Just like rubbing a genie bottle.
I'm going to say Mike Reiser.
Yes. See what he has to say. He says, since it started raining, all my wife has done is look sadly through the stupid window. If it gets any worse, I'll have to let her in. My God.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That one deserves a rim shot.
You know what else deserves a rim shot? Let me show you this. Let me pull this up. This is unreal. Where is this at now? Here we go. There you go. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the most I've ever won on one game.
Where's it at? I know you're talking about the Ole Miss game, right?
Yeah.
There. Okay, there it is. Got a highlighted dirt.
I had already bet it earlier for $50, so I won another, whatever, $150. But I was taking a beating. So you can see I lost a lot of games. Lost the Virginia Tech game, the Mississippi State game.
Yeah, you lost 3 out of the 6.
Well, there's more than that because there's more up here.
Damn.
Lost. That's a push, so I got my money back. Won $100 on Georgia at -7.5. But I would have took a beating had it not been for that Ole Miss game. I would have took a beating last weekend.
I think I told you last night. I wish I would have actually put some money in there and bet on that game because I was 100% confident that Ole Miss was winning that game.
Late in that game, Ole Miss got down. They had like 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. Went for it. All 4 downs and didn't get it. And I was like, my God, I'm going to lose because they couldn't score from 4 yards out. But then they ended up getting the ball back again in regulation, scoring, tying it up. Kentucky got the ball first in overtime, went right to in and scored, but then missed the extra point. Ole Miss got the ball in the second overtime, scored, hit the extra point, and it was over. And I went nuts.
Oh, okay. Somebody told me. I thought somebody said Kentucky went for 2 and lost.
No, Kentucky got the ball first, scored, no problem.
Yeah, I get it now, but I could have sworn when that score came up that one of the announcers that was reading the score said, I could have sworn they said that they went for 2. Maybe that, I don't know.
No.
I know I heard that. I just don't know where I heard it.
No.
I even mentioned it. Wow. What was the line in that game?
I think it was, well, hold on. It was, it doesn't tell me on here, but I want to say Mississippi, I want to say Kentucky was a 7 or an 8 point favorite. Kentucky was favored by basically a touchdown.
Okay. Don't forget about Mike Vick.
Oh. Yeah, we'll call him in here in a second. Now, also, I want to point this out. No. Mike Vick, if you have my number, he can't call me. I don't have your number.
It's in the email, so it's in his first email actually.
To where?
Let me text it to you.
Yeah, just text it to me. Every Saturday morning at the end of my Saturday morning live show, I have been letting somebody in the comments section pick a bet. I place the bet for them, and if they win, I'll send them the winnings. 4 people have done this. They're 0 for 4. So I know everybody in the comment section is undefeated at every bet they've ever made. But we've had 4 winners the last 3 Saturdays that have all picked a bet live. I placed the bet live. All 4 lost. It's time for some of y'all to start picking some winners. Here, this will tell you how bad my day could have been if it wouldn't have been for that Ole Miss game. Look at this. I started the day with $600. I won 400 and something on one game and still only finished the day at 719 plus 125, 844. So I won $250 basically on the day. But I won 450 on one game. So had it not been for, if Ole Miss wouldn't have won, I would have took an absolute beating.
Yeah, you would have.
Take $700 away from this amount, 844, and that's what I would have had left. So I would have lost $400 and something, $500 on Saturday if it wouldn't have been for that Ole Miss game. So I got lucky. Well, it's not luck. I just know what I'm doing. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
As well you should.
Yeah. All right. Let's get Mike Vick on before he gets mad and has a fit.
We don't want that.
No. We don't need that either. If anybody's going to get mad and have a fit, it's going to be me.
That's a fact. Don't have any of those this week, okay? I want you to save up and have a really good one Saturday afternoon.
Let me get all up in there good.
Hey, good morning, that's Mike Vick here.
Yeah, it is a good morning, though. Let me add BVD back, though. Yeah, good morning. You're on with BVD.
Can't hear him.
He's probably not saying anything. He hardly ever does.
Gonna need you to say something there, Mike.
Yes, what are we gonna talk about today?
This is your show, sir. We're just
That's right.
along for the ride. So
Okay.
that's just what that is, okay?
Okay.
All right, good.
On your marks, get set, go.
Okay. Yes, I just want to tell you, that Stetson Bennett is actually 5'11", not 5'9".
Yeah, right. And Jake Fromm runs a 4.7, not a 4.9.
Yep. So did you see how Ole Miss was playing the hokey pokey?
Oh yeah, they've been doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, they would put Matt Corral in on first down, and they put John Reese Plumlee in on second down, and then back to Matt Corral.
Right.
Kind of reminds me of something UGA used to do.
Right, but it works for Ole Miss for some reason. Doesn't work for UGA for some reason. Even though both quarterbacks that UGA was running it with are better than both quarterbacks Ole Miss is running it with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Mike, I'm going to need you to tell Lou that his team's going to lose this Saturday for me.
No. No, his team is gonna win.
What have you got against Tennessee, Mike?
Oh, nothing. Oh, nothing. Nothing. Yeah, I don't have anything against Tennessee.
I do.
Remind BVD who your team is again, Mike.
It's Georgia.
Well, that might have a little something to do with why you think Georgia's going to win.
Oh, no, because we're just better.
When are people going to stop buying the Kentucky hype?
Well, I'm officially all out of purchases of the Kentucky hype.
Well, let me ask you a question. Kentucky plays Mississippi State this weekend. Who's favored?
Yeah.
Kentucky. Again. Just like last week, but only 3 points this time.
I think they're actually going to win this game. I don't know why.
Mark Rogers is on suicide watch.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, he's got them winning the East, don't he, or some dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, does he still think they're winning the East?
I don't know.
Surely not. Surely not. You need it, Mike. You need to call him up and straighten him out.
The Georgia line hadn't moved yet. It's still at 14 over Tennessee. Oklahoma and Texas. Guess the spread on that.
3.5.
By who? You have to say who.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking.
So you know the
Texas,
spread, but
Texas is getting 3.5.
yes, Oklahoma's a 3-point favorite.
Okay.
Not 3.5, but 3. What else is interesting? Alabama at Ole Miss. Guess the spread.
21.5.
No, Mike Vick.
24.5.
Oh, 24. Mike Vick wins that round. I like this game. Let's continue.
Yeah.
All right. This time Mike Vick goes first. Arkansas at Auburn. Guess the spread. Mike Vick, you're up.
Auburn by 8.
BVD.
Auburn by 10.
Auburn by 16.5. BVD was closer.
Jesus.
Mizzou at the Corn Dog. BVD's up first this time.
Oh, at the Corn Dog?
Yep.
LSU's got to be favored by 18.
Michael Vick.
I guess 25.5.
20.5. BVD was closer again. We already talked about this one. Florida at Texas A&M. It started out at 6 points. It's up to 7 points now. Breaking news, it's going to go higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
I got it yesterday at -6. I texted Pete yesterday, and I said, Pete, is there any reason I should not take this entire $800 I have and put it on Florida -6? And I almost did it, but I've just seen too many weird things happen, and I would hate to lose my entire season's worth of winnings on one game, so I just put $100 on it at -6. Let's see what else is interesting here. South Carolina at Vandy. I forget who's up first. I forget. We'll go with Mike Vick.
Yeah, I'm going to say South Carolina -12.
BVD.
South Carolina -8.
Mike Vick actually got it dead on the money that time. -12.
You're not cheating, are you? Not cheating, are you, Mike?
No, of course not. Of course I ain't.
See what else is
If
interesting.
I was cheating, I would have won all.
Florida State at Notre Dame. BVD's up first.
Notre Dame favored by 14.
Notre Dame by 20.
It's Notre Dame by
He's
21.
going to win that.
Yeah, Notre Dame by
I
21.
won that one.
As soon as 14 came out of my mouth, I knew I was beat.
Now, here's one in honor of BVD. Not
Georgia State.
No, nothing like that. This isn't a team you particularly care about, but they have a player you care about. Marshall at Western Kentucky.
Oh, okay. That's going to be close. I'm going to say Western Kentucky's favored by 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 24.
Oh no.
Marshall, you're going to say Western Kentucky's favored by 24?
No, Marshall by 24.
Marshall by 6.5. And I love Marshall in this one.
Yeah.
Marshall under a
boys.
touchdown. I love that here. All right, let's find a couple
First time on the
more.
road for him.
Anything else worth mentioning?
Who's Army play this week?
Okay, we'll do Army next, but Virginia Tech at North Carolina.
You're up, Mike.
Okay, I'm gonna say North Carolina by 10.
North Carolina by 14.
North Carolina by 5.5.
Jesus. Well, we were both off on that one, Mike.
I do not
No
see
confidence
Army
in the
on here.
Heels.
Army's not on here.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're
Maybe
off
off.
again. I don't know if there's a postponement or a cancellation, or if sometimes the lines don't come. Some of the games, the lines might not come out till later in the week.
Yeah.
What about Louisville at Georgia Tech? Now, this might matter, especially if you pay attention to college football a lot, but this game is on a Friday night, and so sometimes some weird things happen there. But Louisville at Georgia Tech.
Okay.
And Louisville at Georgia Tech.
Louisville by 10.
Louisville by 11.
It's Louisville by 6.
See what you did there, Mike.
But this is one that's worth betting on the money line. I don't know if I will, but the odds are good enough to where you could take the chance. They're plus 190.
Explain that again. What betting on the money line?
Money line means you're just picking who's going to win.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't matter by how much. But if you pick
Straight
the
up.
favorite, then you don't win anything.
As much.
Yeah, like if you pick Louisville to win and you bet $100, you only win 23.
Oh. How much do you lose? You lose the whole
The whole 100.
right?
Yeah, the whole 100.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
If you pick Georgia Tech to win because they're a 6-point underdog, if you bet 100, you win an additional 190.
Ooh.
So you'd get your 100 back plus 190. So, and you see this a lot where a home underdog will win on a Friday night. You see it a lot. If you remember when Clemson lost to the Fruit, that was on a Friday night. Pretty sure when they lost to Pitt, that was on a Friday. When Miami was undefeated in 2017, I believe, and lost like the next to the last week of the season to Pitt, that was a Friday game, if I remember right. You just see a lot of this happens in the Pac. The ACC and the Pac-12 are the only two conferences dumb enough to do this, play Friday games and make their highly ranked teams go on the road. Oregon lost to Arizona on a Friday night and ruined their season. It happens all the time. So Louisville on the road at Georgia Tech on a Friday night. Georgia Tech's a 6-point underdog. If I bet that game at all, I'll play Georgia Tech on the money line because the odds are high enough to make it worth the risk.
Yeah, those are definitely interesting trends to know.
Yeah. You see it a lot. So now, it's always a gamble, but definitely a gamble to take an underdog. So the odds have to be right. If this was plus, if I bet 100 and could only win 120, that's not worth it. But I can bet 100 and win 190. So the odds are high here. So I like my chances there. So if I play that game, I would probably take Tech. I think I would have to. And need to too.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd touch that one or not, but
Not really nothing else really all that interesting on there. Mike, Vick, what games you watched this weekend besides the Georgia game?
Well, let's see. Well, I think I watched. I think I watched all the SEC games. See, I watched most of South Carolina and Florida and Missouri and Tennessee. Let's see. And I watched pretty much all of the Ole Miss. Kentucky game. Let's see. I watched part of the Texas A&M Alabama game when it was close, but I quit watching. You know, as Bama started to pull away. And,
Right.
And then let's see. And then I watched part of the Arkansas Mississippi State game during the Georgia game. So.
Were you as pissed off as I was that you were only able to watch that game on half of your TV?
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. I'm supposed to call somebody and complain about that this week. For some reason, okay, the SEC network sometimes plays 2 games at the same time. When they do, one game is on SEC network. In this case, it was the LSU Vandy game.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then they have what's called the SEC alternate channel, and a second game will be on that channel sometimes. This weekend, that was the case. They had 2 games on at the same time in prime time. So on the SEC alternate channel, they had Arkansas and Mississippi State. It's 2020, and SEC alternate channel broadcasts in standard definition, not HD. That's insane. So if you have a widescreen TV, no, you didn't. So if you have a widescreen TV, it only takes up. Anyway, it's the most aggravating thing. You might have zoomed your screen, but no, it wasn't in HD.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
I don't know how we can settle this one.
Well, it's already settled. I'm on live stream for an hour complaining about it, and everyone in the live stream was saying the same thing. I said, y'all turn it there and tell me if it's doing this to y'all too, and everybody said, yeah. So I don't know what Michael Vick. I don't know how high Michael Vick was.
Well, there was 2. There was an HD and there was a non-HD, and I watched it in HD. Yeah, they had an HD and a non-HD, and I watched it in HD.
No, you didn't.
So, yeah.
Not on your TV, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't. Braves WS, thank you for the super chat. He says, when will people stop doubting UGA is defensively elite? I don't think anyone doubts that. I think most of the trolls even won't even go that far. Can Bennett keep up his effective play? And Lou, we have to keep our foot on the throttle. The question about Bennett is a legitimate one. We'll see about that. I don't know the answer. Keeping our foot on the throttle, I obviously agree. Playing one half of football is great against Arkansas and Auburn. We've tried that approach against Bama a couple of times in 17 and in 18, and it didn't work out. Both times we lost because we only played one half of football. So I agree. It's very frustrating. Up close and personal, thank you for the super chat. He says, Pitt defense made me look crazy Saturday after hyping them in my Tar Heels struggle, but BCQB and tight end is legit. BCQB better than Ian Book. Their quarterback transferred from Notre Dame, that Jerkovic. Vector 12, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, BVD, I'm glad you're back. Thank y'all for the show, and have a good morning.
Thank you, Vector 12.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Actually, thank all of you guys. Thank you, Vector, for personalizing that one there.
Yeah. Waikiki says, since Ballard doesn't want to do a show with Lou, can Mike, Vick, and Lou have a show?
Yeah, can we?
I don't know.
All right, what kind of show would we do?
A shit show.
Who would be the if it was a shit show? Who would be the primary commentator?
Me. No. No. I'm not being the primary commentator on any show I do. I'm just background noise if I do any other shows. That's what I already told Ballard that too. All right. Before we run out of time today, I wanted to do this. Mail time. I don't know what any of this is. But this is from Brian B, who I think was in the comments section earlier. Let's see
Brian
what.
B. Wouldn't that maybe be Brian Biak? Maybe.
No, a different. This is. Well, I'm not going to say, but it's not Brian Biak. It's Brian B. that sends PayPal. This is. Oh. This is interesting and alarming. Both at the same time.
Oh, okay. Is that a?
Thank you.
Know, is it a sticker?
No, it's like a. It's not a pin. It's It's metal.
Oh, okay.
Bethel Holy Cross, Indiana University, South Bend, Notre Dame, St. Mary's, Valparaiso, Notre Dame, ROTC, whatever that. I think it's when he emailed me about this, I think he called it a challenge coin. Challenge accepted though. Thank you.
What's the challenge?
I haven't figured that out yet. I don't know who this is from unless there's a note on the inside.
I know who that's from.
Oh, I know who it's from too because I can see it now.
Who's it from?
A gift for you. My drunk uncle, 90 proofer Luther, says, "Whoa, Todd." From Bama Mike. 17 titles. Thank you, Bama Mike. Appreciate that.
Did you already have one of those?
No. I didn't have an Alabama. Air Force, Auburn, Arizona State, Arkansas, Army. Those are all the A's that I have.
Have you got? Did they send you the regular Army gold with the black stripe?
Yes. It almost looks like a Notre Dame helmet if you just look at it from the side.
Yeah, it's just not quite as bright.
Okay, this is the 2-for-1 deal. And there's no note in here. And it's from Amazon Fulfillment Services. So I would have to go back and check my email maybe to see who these are from.
Wazoo.
Yeah. Bigfoot used
like
to coach
those.
there, I think, didn't he?
Yeah,
Mike
I like
Leach.
those display cases better too.
Oh. Just when you think you can't get a mini helmet from any further away than Washington State.
And you get one from Hawaii. Knew it. Yep.
And it's official now. I have to put up more shelf.
Away.
I have to put up more shelving now.
Yeah, you're gonna have to circle that whole building.
One whole length is full now, so I'm gonna do the other. I'm gonna do the other side now. Still no BYU helmet, Joseph. I'm kind of surprised that someone hasn't trolled me with a BYU helmet.
I
but
thought that would have
happened.
been like one of the first ones.
Yeah, BYU, Liberty, something like that. I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised.
Well, I trolled you with a UTEP helmet.
Yes, you did, and it's proudly displayed way back there in the U's, right after Texas, I think. Let's be real. It should be the other way around. I might should put Texas after UTEP. Let's just be honest. Yeah. Let's see. Slim Shady, thank you, sir. He says, "What do you call a swimming pool full of Clemson co-eds? The Bay of Pigs."
Oh man.
Vector 12 says, "Where's the info to send things to you? I've got a few ideas." No ricin, no pipe bombs. Just forget it. No. Answer is no for that. I'm actually going to the post office today. I bought a P.O. box. I have to go up there and sign a piece of paper and get the key. And then I'm just going to start posting the P.O. box in the comments or in the description of the videos so people will know, because Mrs. Lou is getting awfully nervous about all these people knowing the address, which, let's be real, it's 2020. You can find anybody's address anyway.
Yeah.
But why make it easy? That's her point. So anyway, that's that. And I got to send off some hats to some people on the Patreon page too. That are I'm like 3. I ordered the hats, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. I got them 4 weeks ago. I still haven't been to the post office to mail them off. I'm the worst. I just hate the post office. I hate having to go up there and then.
How big of a box did you get?
For what? Oh, I got the smallest one. Yeah, I mean, it's teeny. Probably like that. Shoebox.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It doesn't matter the size. Whatever you get, if it won't fit in there, they just put it behind the counter. So I'll just go,
I know. I was just curious.
Once a week while I'm out, I'll just run by the post office. And what they do is they put a note in your box saying, hey, you have a package behind the counter.
They're going to get mad at you.
Well, they just have to get mad.
Yeah.
I mean, they make the rules, not me.
You remember Casey Neistat?
Yeah.
How'd you like to been the dude handling his mail at the post office?
Yeah.
Who?
Guy named Casey Neistat.
He would do those mail videos, and when he was done, his entire office was covered with empty boxes.
Yeah. It's great watching him do that, too. He just ripped into the shit and chuck it over his shoulder. Say it was like that every day for him, too.
Vector says, I just want to tell you this is a really, really good thing. Can't wait. That wall is dying for a Louisiana Tech white helmet. I agree. That's really what's missing is a Louisiana Tech. Here's what I have. I'll read it out. Air Force, Auburn, Arizona State, Arkansas, Army, Colorado, Florida, Florida State, FAU, FIU, Georgia, Georgia Southern, Kentucky, LSU, Marshall, Miami, Michigan, Middle Tennessee State, Mississippi State, Mizzou, Navy, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Rutgers, South Carolina, South Florida, Southern Cal, SMU, Tennessee, Texas, Central Florida, UTEP, Wake Forest, West Virginia, Western Kentucky, Vandy, and Hawaii, Alabama, and Washington State.
You got a Wake Forest helmet?
Yeah.
That's one I'm looking for. And Furman, believe it or not.
And then I've got two. There's some that I have two of, but they're different. Like I have two Marshalls, but they're different. I have two Miamis, but they're different. I have two Georgias, but they're different.
What's the different Marshall helmet besides the white with the green M?
White with an American flag M.
Oh.
It was a special helmet they did for Veterans Day.
Cool.
Or Memorial Day. I can't remember. It says on the label of the helmet, I think it was one they did for Veterans Day. It says on there. And then Miami, I've got the white one, and then I've got the black one. And Georgia, same thing. I've got a red one and a black one for Georgia. Are those the only ones I have two of? Yeah, Miami, Marshall, and Georgia. The only ones I have two of. Braves WS, thank you, sir. He says, somebody get that man a Georgia State helmet. Everybody's saying that BVD. He needs that Georgia State helmet. I think I have every helmet that Georgia plays this year. Who we got? Tennessee, I got that. Alabama, Kentucky,
Did
I have
you
Kentucky.
Auburn?
Got Auburn, got Florida, got Vandy, got Mizzou, got Mississippi State. Yeah, I think I have all the helmets of teams that Georgia plays this year until we find out what kind of postseason we're having or whatever.
Now, when if you end up getting all of them, are you gonna line them up in order of conference, or are you gonna keep it alphabetical?
Well, for now I'm going to keep it alphabetical. I may change it up eventually. I don't know, but here's the ones I'm surprised I like. Like I don't have a Clemson. That's a surprise. Like I have FAU, FIU, UTEP, but no Clemson. I don't have Ohio State. I don't have Notre Dame.
Those daggone Notre Dame helmets are ridiculous.
I thought I had an
60
Oregon.
or $70.
No Oregon either, and there must be 100 different Oregon helmets.
Yeah.
I don't have an Oregon either.
Use a separate wall just for those.
Yeah. If DJ David wanted to collect mini helmets, he could literally just do Oregon helmets and fill his room with that.
Imagine if he did helmets and uniforms, because he does have those game worn pants hanging on his wall.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got some cool stuff. What about you, Mike Vick? You got some cool stuff?
Like what?
I'm gonna take that as a no.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's see. I have a Mark Richt autographed football.
Trucker Tim, just about literally anybody can come on the show, and you definitely meet the requirements. So send us an email. This week, after UncleLou answers a text from me after the show, this week is full.
Oh yeah, and I've got a
Just send an
Lego.
email. What is the email?
Yeah,
Here you go.
Tim,
It's on the
just
bottom of
send
the
an
screen.
email.
There you go. louandbvd@gmail.com. Just send an email, and then we'll work out a day that works.
Yeah, and I have a Lego Millennium Falcon.
Really? Is it put together, though?
Yeah.
Okay. How long did that take?
I don't know, like a couple of weeks. Yeah.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What are the requirements to be on the morning show? BVD?
You got to have a phone.
Yes.
Got to have a voice.
Have to know how to use it.
Got to know how to use it. Got to be over 18.
Can't be cutting your grass while you do it or anything like that.
Yeah.
I get too aggravated.
Don't be walking your dogs when he calls you.
Yeah. Don't be driving down the road in your car with the windows down and it's on speakerphone and all that kind of. Try to have some.
Be available on the day that you agree to.
Yes. Be available.
Some pretty tough requirements, but Trucker Tim I know can handle it.
Waikiki says, where do you send complaints about the show to? Excellent question. BVD Incorporated at yahoo.com.
Yeah, definitely send it there.
Braves WS, thank you for the super chat. He says, I got one of those national championship banners that has the years. I'd really like to add something to it. 1942 and 1980 looking lonely.
Yeah, no, we need it 2020.
Well, he don't have very many Atlanta Braves banners either.
Mm.
We have one, from
One.
like the 90s, yeah.
Will says, I got to wait 4 years to be on the morning show.
Why?
I don't know.
He must be 14.
Oh, you say you got to be 18.
You're 18, aren't you, Mike?
Yeah, I'm 23 actually.
Oh, see, you're too old. Why did we let him on the show, Lou? He's 5 years too old.
Who?
Mike.
How old are you, Mike? Aren't you? Didn't you just turn 23 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I pay attention. I know things. Got to end the show. Our garage door quit working. Isn't that weird? I work out there all that time. No problems. Now all of a sudden the motor goes out in our garage door. Anyway, and the people are here to put in a new one. I got to run. But appreciate all of you tuning in this morning, and I'm going to have to end the show a little quicker than normal too. But big shout out to everybody who helped to support the show through the PayPal and the Super Chat. I'm not going to run back through the list of names. Please don't take that I don't. That's the reason these live shows are able to continue to direct support you guys' show. So thank you very much. Braves WS says BVD. It's just peanuts. It would be pennants. It would be full 20 division championships for the Braves. But we really appreciate you guys supporting the show. BVD, it's good to have you back, sir. Sorry for your loss next weekend, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Check your text when you get done with the garage guy.
10-4, big buddy. Mike Vick, thank you for coming on this morning, sir. You were great as usual.
Okay,
thank you, Mike.
All right, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. to do this all over again, and I'll have my top 10 video out this afternoon. BVD, what you got coming up?
Just the 8 o'clock stream tonight where we will be trashing Georgia all night long.
Okay, great. I'll be in the comment section to point and laugh. All right, we love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. I hope y'all have a great Monday and an even better morning, too.